What is going on with Cloud Defensive? Are they just a mid-tier light manufacturer that makes quality rifle and pistol lights? Or are they totally scamming their customers and running a Ponzi scheme? Well, two things might be true at the same time. I haven't seen anyone else on YouTube talk about this, so I felt like this was worth addressing. See, I'm a member of Cloud Defensive Owners Group on Facebook, which is a little bit funny. I'm not sure how I became a member or when, because I don't own any Cloud Defensive products. I've got a lot of mod lights, I've got Streamlights, and I've got Surefires. But one of the guys that I train and shoot with regularly has a Cloud Defensive rifle light. He loves it. I have had the chance to use it. Works great. It's a totally decent light. But the company seems to be falling apart. Quick history of Cloud Defensive without going in too detailed here. I don't want to make this a really long video, but they came out of the gate swinging a few years ago. They had a light called the Owl, and that thing was built like an absolute tank. It was a one-piece design where the light and the pressure pad was all one piece. And so the pressure pad actually clamped to the top rail on your rifle. And you know, the light hung off the side. If you've ever seen pictures of them, I'll try to bring one up right now in the video. They are big, beefy lights. But people absolutely loved them. They were high quality, they performed well, and they were tough. So then they came out with the Rein series. And I believe they've got a 1.0, a 2.0, and a 3.0 Rein. And it's R-E-I-N, not R-A-I-N. And that's what my buddy has. I think he has a Rein 3.0. And those two came with a pressure pad, though more of a traditional design, like what I've got with these mod lights, where you have a light mounted on your rail and a cable up to your switch. Thing is the Cloud lights actually came with their own switch. So unlike a mod light or a Surefire where you got to buy a light, and then you got to buy a tail cap and a mount and a switch. Yes, I know the new Surefires come with mounts, but you know what I mean, where you kind of got to piece the whole thing together and it ends up costing you $500 for a light. Well, the Cloud Defensive lights were about half that price and came with everything that you needed, mount and switch included. The problem with that is that it's all proprietary, and so you were stuck with their switch. You couldn't, get a Cloud light and use like a mod button or a Unity hot button or something if you wanted. You had to use the Cloud Defensive switch. Now, I believe they did come out with like a legacy body so that you could use Surefire tail caps, which then open you up to every kind of switch and stuff on the market. But they're just not standardized like Surefire, Mod Light, Arasaka, Malkoff, stuff like that. But they're also came in at a better price point when you consider the full package. And so that was very attractive to a lot of people, and Cloud Defensive grew very rapidly. Well, all of a sudden we started seeing flickering problems. Now, like I said, I'm in this Cloud Defensive Owners Group on Facebook, and I see a lot of the posts and a lot of the comments regularly, and it seems like the Owl and the Rein 1.0 really didn't have any problems. Sounds like after that, a lot of the Rein 2.0s and 3.0s, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I've paid pretty close attention to this lately. Seems like they have a lot of flickering issues. Now, Cloud Defensive, to their credit, it sounded like they had pretty good customer support and were taking care of people. But it also sounds like most of those people got their lights back and they still flickered. Well, enter the EPL. The EPL is their pistol light. PL, pistol light, right? I think it's enhanced pistol light. Cloud Defensive had this idea for this pistol light that was going to outperform anything else on the market at the time they announced it. It's taken them now years to get that pistol light to the market. It still hasn't gotten to the market. And in the meantime, Streamlight has caught up and passed it. Surefire, the X300 Turbo, performs incredibly well, and you can go out and buy one today. The Streamlight HLX and HP-X lights that just came out, well, they outperform the EPL, and the EPL still hasn't made it to market, even though a ton of customers have paid for them long ago. This video is sponsored by Venice AI. If you're not on the AI train yet, you are missing out. And you know what? I was one of those people missing out for a very long time. I'm always kind of a late adapter to these things, but AI is honestly amazing. The stuff that you can do with it is absolutely incredible. It's a very powerful tool for just about anything in your life. I keep finding more and more amazing things you can do with it. The thing is, though, is that things like ChatGPT and stuff like that, they're actually stealing your information and they're selling it. The former director of the NSA is on the board of ChatGPT. That's not a good thing. You know, Google and stuff like that, you know, Facebook, whatever, they listen to you and they advertise to you based on what you say. Well, what else are these things doing with your information? They're selling it to third parties, including governments. You don't, especially if you're a 2A person, you don't really want the government listening in on your conversation. So that's where Venice AI comes in. They're a full AI platform, but they are private and permissionless, meaning that they don't sell any of your information to anybody else. It's totally private. You get all of the benefits of AI without those downsides. So you might as well try it out. Now, if you use my link, that's venice.ai/sawtooth-tactical, you can get 20% off on your Pro plan. The Pro plan is the way to go. There's just a ton more that you can do with it. You can use all the tools that AI has to offer. And I mean, by now, AI can do so much for your productivity, for your organization, your creativity. Just check it out. It's amazing what you can do. Again, 20% off with code SawtoothTactical at venice.ai/sawtooth-tactical. Before the ad break, I said that Cloud took a bunch of people's money and they haven't brought that EPL, the pistol light, to market yet. Well, this is what they did, is they did a pre-order. And this is why I say it's starting to look like a Ponzi scheme. So the company, I'm not going to make accusations, kind of, from what I've been reading and researching, is that the owners have taken a lot of money and, you know, done a bunch of like truck racing with really expensive trucks, different things like that. I don't know what they'd want to spend their money on. But the company is having financial difficulties in a major way. And they've had a really hard time bringing new products to market. Their lead designer left about a year ago and said that he didn't think that the company would last through the end of 2025. Well, the EPL that everybody wanted, again, like I said, both Surefire and Streamlight have surpassed it in output at this point. And they brought theirs to market. Super easy. You could buy a TLR-1 HLX or an HP-X. You could buy an X300 Turbo right now. Spend your money, get your light. Well, Cloud, they've been doing pre-orders now for a long time. I was just looking back at that Cloud Defensive Owners group. 2 years ago, people were talking about how they paid for their pre-order and months later hadn't gotten their product. They keep putting out posts saying that, you know, fall of this year, that they will be shipping the EPL. Well, it is fall of this year, and to my knowledge, nobody has received one just yet. But a lot of people have paid for them, and a lot of people are pissed. People are asking for their money back, and Cloud Defensive is trying to convince them to, you know, not get a refund and keep their pre-order. What it's starting to look like, why I said it's a Ponzi scheme, is it looks like what they're doing is they're taking pre-order money in order to be able to pay for parts, to put lights together, to ship to people. And so they don't have the lights to sell that people are paying for. And so they're trying to use your money now to pay for lights down the road. And the thing is, if they have enough of a margin, well, theoretically, eventually, hopefully, you would catch up and be able to stop doing the pre-order thing and be able to ship a light when people pay for it because you've been able to get them all out. But that doesn't usually happen in these type of situations. What happens is that, you know, you're taking Peter's money today, so that you could ship Paul's money, who paid for a light a long time ago. And that's just not a good business model. And so people are pissed off. Like I said, that Cloud Defensive Owners Group, I don't think I've seen a positive post in there in a year maybe. Everything is negative. People are frustrated. They're wondering where the hell the products are that they paid for. And the ones that have Cloud Defensive products, all they do is complain about their lights flickering. It seems like people want the owl back. In fact, people seem to like the Rein 1.0 better than the new 2.0 and the 3.0. And people have come up with their own solutions to fix the flickering, which has to do with opening the light up and like literally ripping parts out of it. And supposedly that can fix the problem. And then the rest of the people have paid for lights and not received them. What do you guys know about this? Let me know down in the comments. Is Cloud Defensive about to go bankrupt? Or are they going to pull it together, use all these people's pre-order money to put enough lights together, get them out there into people's hands? Are the lights going to flicker? Or are they going to perform? And at this point, the thing is that the EPL isn't anything special anymore. The Surefire X300 Turbo, which I have right here, and the new TLR-1 HLX and HP-X, which I don't have. I've got the TLR-1 HL. Well, these are great lights. And like I said, you can go out and buy them today. You can order them and they'll show up in a timely fashion. I know what I would rather spend my money on. And I hate to say this because it doesn't bring me any joy to see a fellow Second Amendment company going under. But if it's because the owners are screwing their employees and their customers, now I don't know if they're screwing their employees, but I've seen some stuff from disgruntled ex-employees as well. But if that's what they're doing, well then good riddance. If it's not, then I hope they pull through. But from everything I see, things are not looking good for them. So let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments. Have you pre-ordered an EPL and haven't gotten it yet? Do you have a Rein 2.0 or 3.0 that flickers? Or do you have a Cloud Defensive light that performs flawlessly and you're really happy with it? Because I'm sure there are many of those people out there as well. My friend, who I'm literally going to go shoot with this afternoon, has one on his 13.9 AR build. He freaking loves it. So I know that they have good products that are out there, but it seems like there are enough problems with their products and with their business practices that it might be the end of Cloud Defensive soon enough. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Make sure you're subscribed. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.